let me start this video by saying I really do feel bad that I have to make this video. I mean, it's ridiculous that people can be so angry over such a good thing, and it goes to show that you really can't make everyone happy. With that, let's just get on with the topic at hand, which is the addition of the bakery to Ponytown. You wouldn't expect that to be the topic of today's video if you didn't read the title, and also if you only had the first sentence to go off of, but with the bakery update, it has come with conflicts. Aggression, possible bans, and all kinds of craziness. All kinds of stuff is going on because of this bakery being added to the game. So what is the big deal about the bakery? Why has it caused all this? It simply, honestly, just has to do with its location. Some people in specific fandoms have been forced to find a new usual spot on the map, while some people in those fandoms are more than happy and understandably fine with just hanging out somewhere else. Others are very mad and have started fights with other fandoms over spaces on the map. Within moments of the bakery being added to the game, people were asking Ponytown to move the bakery to another spot because it was, quote, our spot, essentially claiming to own that spot on the map, which is not the case. No one can own part of the map. No one can own a part of the map. That's just not how it works. The devs own the game and thus the map itself. They can do whatever they want to the map. They can decide to remove all the water from the map tomorrow and there would be nothing we could do. They could decide to go to random places and spam trees so no one could move around them, and there would be nothing we could do. Obviously the devs would never do those things, but I hope you can see my point. The devs control what the map is like and you do not. You have no power over what the map looks like, how the game plays, what buildings go where, and what those buildings are. And it's ridiculous. It's honestly, genuinely ridiculous that I feel like I have to explain this to people, and that I have to make a video about this so that I can explain it to people. I mean, I have no idea. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have no idea how big of a group is protesting the placement of the bakery or how bad this issue is, but I've seen and heard of people fighting with others so that they could control a spot on the map before. This has happened to one of my close friends where they were hanging out in, like, I think the caves or something like that, and then suddenly a group of people come into the caves and I was like, hey, you got to get out of here because this is our spot. You know, I've seen that happen before. Now, this was a long time ago. This isn't, you know, a recent thing that I've seen, but of course I see it all the time still. It's just, it's not okay. This is not okay. You cannot just bully other people and expect to get what you want. If you see a large group of people hanging out in a spot that you want to hang out in, then who the hell cares? Just hang out in that spot anyway. But I mean, if it's too crowded for you and your friends, if it's genuinely too crowded and you don't want to hang out there, or you're frustrated to hang out there because it's too crowded or whatever, then just go with your friends somewhere else. Go look somewhere else. Those people were there before you. You can't bully them to leave. There is tons of space on the map, and some of them look amazing but don't get much activity because people find spots on the map and then they just stay there and they don't go anywhere else, and they have all their friends come to them and stuff like that. I'm a little bit guilty of this, though I don't really have a large group, and I do like to explore the map every now and again. But I mean, especially on the safe server where like even less players are. There's even less players on the safe servers. You really shouldn't have that much trouble finding a spot to hang out with your fandom in. Like, there's so many spaces that you can go in that almost no one is in, or maybe a few people are in, that you can just go with your group of fans and just hang out. Now, part of why I decided to make this video is because this issue will get worse and worse as Ponytown grows. As Ponytown grows, there will be more players and thus less space for you to pretend you own. Eventually, you and your groups will have to learn that you never had control, and you'll have to give up fighting over space. Now, we already know that Ponytown will be slowly getting a town as time goes on. This bakery was just the beginning. It's the first building that we're getting of this town. There's gonna be more. How many more buildings? We have no idea. I have no idea. There could be a dozen more buildings added in the future. There could be like 2 more buildings added in the future. We have no idea, but there is gonna be more buildings because they are creating the town. The town is happening, guys. You can't pretend that it's not happening. So as time goes on, there's going to be more and more of these buildings and stuff like that. So what are you going to do when another fandom spot is taken up by another building? Well, of course, you can cry and complain and fight people like some of these other people have done so far because of the bakery. Or you can do the simple thing and just hang out in front of the building, or maybe next to it, or how about inside it, or a totally different place altogether. There's so many places to go. As I said before, this issue of people fighting over space is going to get worse and worse before it gets better. Because I do believe it will get better once the town is sort of finished and once the map is finalized and things like that. It will eventually die down and people won't fight over space as much because it'll be trivial to do it and basically impossible to do it. But with each building that gets added, there is the likelihood that more fandom areas will be forced to move, and thus more people will be upset. Understandably so. I would understand, you know, if my big group was suddenly forced to find a new spot because of a building, I would be a little bit upset about that, but more so upset that I would have to find a new spot and have that pressure on me. But I would also be really excited because there's now a new building to explore and have fun with. Now, there isn't really a solution to this problem of people being upset about buildings and things like that I think the devs can make, or really anyone else can make. There's no solution that any of these devs or anything like that can do. But the solution is on you, really, because you have the solution, and that solution is to just not be mad about it. Just find a new spot, enjoy the amazing building that we just got, and all that it has to offer. If you are one of the people who are conflicted about losing your usual spot to the bakery, just think of it like this. Ponytown used to be a very simple, small, very small grass field with literally nothing. As updates changed and made the map larger, fandoms started finding places to hang out in more than others, basically creating fandom locations. But then the map grew even bigger, and then of course some of the fandoms decided to explore and find an even better place to hang out because the map changed. What I'm saying is to adapt to the changes on the map, explore more, and find somewhere new to hang out in. It's not that hard when you think about it. You just find a new friend, maybe, if you want to do that. Like, just find a new friend, maybe find a new location. It's not that hard, really, when you think about it. If nothing else, just talk to other fandoms and consider joining them. Making friends is one of the main features of this game. It is built on social interactions. So if you have bad social interactions to provide, then you make the game worse for everyone. But if you have nice and fun social interactions to provide, then you make the game better for everyone. And for the people who are fighting others over places on the map, it's only a matter of time before your toxicity and aggression ends and you being banned. There's no place in Ponytown for that kind of aggression and that toxicity and stuff like that. You will eventually be hidden by a player and reported by a player. Ponytown staff or mods or whatever like that will have to investigate the issue, and then you might end up getting banned for all your aggression and fighting over locations on the map. Honestly, this little segment here is a little bit off script, a little bit off the wall here, but I really think that something that could possibly help is if Ponytown went to the general rules and said no, you know, claiming a spot on the map, because Ash's Town has a very similar rule to this where it just says you can't claim a spot on the map, don't restrict parts of the map or something like that. If Ponytown puts that in general rules right underneath all this red text and stuff like that, I think that would help the issue just a little bit, but I don't really see it helping that much. I want to end this video by saying one more time, you do not own a part of the map, you can't control a part of the map, you can't restrict a part of the map, you just exist in the map. And you can of course find places that you want to go to hang out in more than others, there's nothing wrong with that, but as soon as you start fighting other people over those spots, that's when a problem arises. Be courteous to the people that were there before you, and respect that if they're there before you, if they ask you to leave, you don't have to leave, but don't fight them over that spot. You're allowed to be there, they're allowed to be there, and if you come up to them and say, hey, get out of here, then you're a problem. You can't be doing that. You can't just tell people to leave. That's ridiculous. That's all I have to say about this. This was a very, I want to say structured rant, but I seen the post on Twitter and all the responses on Twitter to the bakery update, people complaining that their fandom spot is gone now, and I just got really upset about it, and I just wanted to make a video about it. I've tried to structure my thoughts as much as possible over the course of a couple of days and stuff, and I think I put it all together in the nicest way I could. But just remember that you can't own a spot on the map, and that's going to do it for the video, I think. I don't really have anything else to add or say. If you have anything you want to say, let me know in the comments below, because I'm sure you do. Just try to be nice. And that's going to do it for the video, like I said. I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing all of those wonderful things like that. Because when you do those wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful yourself. And I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.